Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Cake Fight Presents The Making of Kaleidoscope. I'm writer, director, producer Paige Feldman, and this is the writing of Kaleidoscope, a special series where I take you behind the scenes day by day as I draft the script for the film that's going to be my directorial debut feature, Kaleidoscope. Today is Sunday, January 9th, and y'all, I finished the first draft! So excited, everyone. It has been 24 days of writing. That is about 10 more days than I had wanted to write. But finally, we are here. I wrote Fade to Black. It feels amazing. Before I get in what I wrote today, I will take you all back to yesterday, to Saturday, so I can tell you what I did then. It is Saturday, January 8th, and y'all, I am on track. It is 6:30 p.m., and I started writing today at noon, did 7 total 20-minute sprints. I took a nice hour-long break between the first group of 3 and the second group of 3 to have some lunch and just chill, and then between the second group of 3 and the 7th sprint, 7th 20 minutes, I put away some laundry. And I have written scenes 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. 5 total scenes. I am super on track. I have 5 more to write tomorrow. And today I wrote from page 198 to page 218. So 20 pages, and 6 of those pages were scene 27, and then the other 14, very lean 14, were the first half of Act 3. So, good news here in all of this super long draft, because I'm still on almost page 220. But the good news is that this Act 3 is going to be, if this first half is any indication, the length, it's going to be a normal length Act 3. It's going to be about 30 pages. So now I am going to celebrate both being COVID-free and finishing this first 5 scenes of the 10-scene writing marathon this weekend by grabbing some all-you-can-eat sushi and relaxing. And tomorrow, gonna finish up and write Fade to Black. Love it. So today, Sunday, January 9th, I started on page 218 and finished on page 235. This thing is a behemoth. I wrote those 15 pages in 4 20-minute sprints. The first 3, I had 10-minute breaks between them. And then that 4th sprint, in between those first 3 and that one, I had a little chat with some members of my writing group, just a nice social hour. I took a nice long walk, got some coffee, got a salad for lunch, and then I did the last 20-minute writing sprint, which, when I realized how close I was to the end, I just kept going for another 10 minutes and finished. But before I go and bask in the glory of finishing this draft finally, I've got to do one more thing. We have to put this draft from Microsoft Word, which is what I draft in, into FadeIn, which is my screenwriting software of choice. So let me just open up my computer and get screen share going. All right, so as you can see, we have my rough draft here. I draft in Microsoft Word. I use Fountain Markup, which, like I've said before, is a way to create a screenplay in plain text. You can use any word processing program and not have to worry about which formatting buttons to press while you're drafting, which I find helpful because it means that I'm not thinking about how to format, when what I should be thinking about is how to get the story on the page. So I'll take you just through a quick tour of what Fountain is, and I'll put in the description below a link to a page about Fountain Markup and how to use it to format a screenplay if you're interested in reading more about it. So in order to format a slug line, which is this scene header right here, exterior Hollywood Hills mansion night, all caps with the dash, like you might see in a screenplay, and then 2 returns, and this is action. You just write action as action. And then 4, this is perfect because we have a lot of different elements here. So we have unimpressed date. This is the name of a character. So if you want to do a character name, it's just all caps. And then for a parenthetical, you just hit the return button and then write your parenthetical, with shift parentheses, dialogue 1 line below it. And if you have someone who isn't on screen, or you need a parenthetical that is by the name of a character, so for this is off, this OS means off screen. If there's a voiceover, you do parentheses V period O period. If you wanted to make sure that dialogue was marked as continuous, you would write CONT in there. And then one other thing, because I love dual dialogue. So I'm just going to search for this. So for dual dialogue, search for that and then actually click on it. So if you want dual dialogue, all you have to do is put a little caret next to the character name who comes second in this dual dialogue proposition, and it should automatically format it. If it doesn't, then at least you have the caret so you can search for it and you know exactly what you meant. So when you're revising, you can just put all that together. And there's also stars, which I forget if it denotes italics or bold, but either way, you can denote that and it'll translate through, because Fountain is plain text, so all of that formatting doesn't do anything if if I were to just hit here, be bold, it's not going to be bold in the actual script. So I want to point something out before we go and import this into FadeIn. You'll see it says page 26 of 234 here. I'm sure some eagle-eyed person is like, Paige, you're lying about the page count. You only wrote 234 pages. Please, I wrote 234 pages. First of all, you can stop it. Second of all, like I said in a previous video about just writing as if and making notes at the top of the script about things that I wanted to change, I had a literal page of notes in all caps at the top of the script, and I don't want to import those into FadeIn. I'm actually going to use those in something you will see on Wednesday's video about what to do after you finish writing a script. But to ensure that those didn't get imported into FadeIn, because they'd all be imported as scene headers, and it would just be a nightmare, I copied, pasted them, and then put them into Scrivener. But now it is time to get this thing into FadeIn and to see how long it actually is. Because it says, like I said, it says 234 down here, but because, first of all, this is Calibri 11, that is a much smaller font than Courier. And second of all, I'm just going to go down to a really long speech somewhere. Here we go. Lee's dialogue goes all the way to the end, like 3 lines, except in screenplay format, dialogue is much more condensed. So this might be 6 lines in screenplay format. So I might be looking at like a 260-page script. Let's see. In order to export as Fountain, we're going to save this as a rich text format. Saving it as a rich text format or a .txt, one of these basic formats that anything can read, seems to have helped in the past when I have imported a Fountain document into a screenwriting program, and it was something that Final Draft required, and I will get into in a minute why I don't use them anymore. So whether it's habit or necessity, I do like saving these documents as a rich text or just a .txt. Hit save, and now we open FadeIn. So what I have been doing, because I've been having some trouble getting FadeIn to accept documents as Fountain imports, I've been importing them into my Final Draft as Fountain because I know how to do that, and then opening my Final Draft document as a FadeIn. So today's gonna be the first day that I'm doing an actual proper FadeIn import of a Fountain document because, and this is what I love about FadeIn, they'll respond to you basically all the time. If you have any question about their program or a feature or a bug or anything, they're super responsive. They want to help. They want to ensure that you can use their program easily. I initially switched over to FadeIn from Final Draft because Final Draft kept freezing on me when I had a script over 80 pages and I would hit save. And we all know how long I write. And the other thing is that Final Draft would release a new version every year or two, and it would cost hundreds of dollars to keep my version up to date. FadeIn, you pay for the program and free updates all the time. It's great. It also doesn't freeze with longer scripts. So I love FadeIn. It's the same screenwriting program. It's easy to use, but it is more cost effective, and they have really great customer service. And I actually just kind of blasted out on Twitter, hey, FadeIn, like, can you make it easy to import Fountain? And they helped troubleshoot with me and said, oh, like, you need to actually force it to import as Fountain. Import it as a Fountain file, not as a .txt. And so that's what we're trying to do today. So we're gonna go File, Import, Fountain. Now I'd saved it as an RTF originally, but I'm saving it as a TXT now because it likes the TXT. So let's see how it goes. Open. Oh, look at that. Is that correct? It is correct. Look at this. It's beautiful. I also really love this navigator because it shows you right here, like, this is a scene. This is a scene. This is a scene. So if you're like, oh crap, where's the scene in Lee's office? Look, it's right there. You don't have to keep scrolling through your script. You can actually just scroll through what kind of scenes you have. And guys, we got a final page count. Oh Lord. 263 pages. So even if I cut this script in half, it'll still be longer than the 120 page barrier. Scripts are, on average, 1 minute of script page equals 1 minute of screen time. While I know that, like, Marvel movies are running 2.5, 3 hours, a lot of movies are running 2.5, 3 hours these days. My little indie romantic comedy that I'm going to shoot for a reasonable budget needs to be able to be economical in pages as well. So even in half, this would be 132, 131 and a half pages. We need to cut this down into more than half. Oh my God, I need a sip of tea for that. But you can't revise a script that doesn't exist. And right now, I have a script that absolutely exists. So I am gonna go get my celebration on, as well as do a few other things that I always do after I finish a script. And if you wanna know what those are, tune in on Wednesday for the usual Cake Fight Presents the Making of Kaleidoscope videos, because this very special series, The Writing of Kaleidoscope, is done as of today. If you want to make sure that you don't miss another video, please hit subscribe. And if you loved this series or just this video, please hit the like button. It's been amazing sharing this writing process with all of you. And thanks again for your watching, for your support, and I will see you on Wednesday for more of the making of Kaleidoscope.